Yay.
All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Michelle Maher, and I've created this group, which I'm calling Empowerment, showing your authentic self to the world. And I'm here with Dionne Thomson, who has graciously agreed to have a chat with me. As you know, we are in a different world now than what we were a week ago, basically. Wait, it's even less than a week ago.
Yeah,
We spoke last Wednesday
correct. Yeah.
about her upcoming 100 Women on Fire conference and me being a sponsor there, sharing my jewelry there. So, anyhow, the world shifted a lot on Thursday. Basically, when the NBA said they were stopping the season, I don't know, it just went downhill from there. So, as I found, the Facebook feed went very much downhill into Armageddon, end of the world, doomsday type. Also highlighting the grocery store lines, the lack of toilet paper for one thing,
Right.
which has
Right.
just gone out of gone nuts.
Yeah.
So I decided, as I said, to create this group where we could talk about it and navigate our way through because
Mhm.
we are all small business owners. And this isn't going to be now our only way of communicating for the next little while. We're not going to be meeting face to face. Everything's been canceled, so this
Yes.
is it. So I thought we'll have different people on to discuss. So welcome, Dionne, and if you want to say, I don't know, say a few words about how you're feeling, I guess.
Absolutely. Thank you for creating this group and for inviting me on to come in and chat and share my thoughts. And there's been so much so much back and forth in my mind, out in the world, and so I do work from home. And so for me, there's pluses and minuses on every front. And then I had anticipated having my kids home. So I have two children. They're 6 and 8. And so I mentally was already ready for the March break of it all and how that
Of
would
course.
impact my business. And I had sort of decided, well, I'm just going to take it easy. It's going to be a not so worky type week, a little bit more focus on play and things. And then when everything did shift, so much for me with my event, which is scheduled for April 25th. I did put out a notice stating that I'm in full assessment and kind of running day by day to make the decision to postpone. No canceling, but the potential to postpone. So that's still ruminating. But what shifted was, okay, I went from I'm not going to work very much this week to now I have to not only work, but I have to work at figuring out what I'm going to do. And I know so many, there's so many, all the women, all the people in business, all the women in this group were all impacted. Now, depending on do we work from home or do we have a service, a product, bricks and mortar, so many things to consider. And you're right, we are sort of stepping into this online world. And what you and I were just chatting about before we hit record is, but the online world is something where so many of us are like, I can't keep watching that anymore. So how do we stay on social media without being inundated by certain parts of our feed that are not in alignment with how we want to show up in the world? And I think this group is a
Right.
fantastic place for that. And I'm really looking forward to showing up and being present and hearing from all the other women who, like me, are just trying to make this work. And I've been giving it so much thought, again, the back and forth. And my husband works at a restaurant and they're not
Wow.
closed. And so I'm like, okay, I'll bubble up and can cocoon up and I'm going to do that. And then he leaves and comes home every day. And that has been a different challenge for
Right.
him morally and emotionally. And for us as a family. And my mother-in-law lives here. She's 70 years old. She works and she goes out to work and then comes back every day. And so there's so many moving parts and so many pieces. And it can get very easy to get low if you let it. And these types of groups and communities are so valuable to be able to see there's some light there and some connection and I don't want to say levity, but a chance to just be like, oh, okay, can we talk about how I'm really feeling? And can we also not talk about just how I'm feeling? Let's talk about what I can do next and what I can do next and what I can do next to give, the people like me who like to do things all the time a chance to feel like I'm moving forward, even though I'm just as stuck as everybody else. So
Right. Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at. The event, that's its own sort of entity. Because
nobody knows.
No.
Nobody knows. Everybody's just planning right now, like the schools till April 6th.
Yeah.
Although what was really interesting is Alberta said the schools are indefinite till September, that they've closed them, and I don't know, not sure why Alberta did that, but
I heard I was listening to a feed of Justin Trudeau, and he was asked specifically why is because education is provincial and why is there not a unified front, and his answer was, it made sense to me, but every environment and jurisdiction and sort of community looks and functions differently. Obviously, what's going to function in Ontario is not going to work in Nunavut, right? Because the dynamics of the populations are different, and how we interact is different. And so, I can appreciate that what the information that we all get that's sort of unified as far as a public health front. But then you have to manage and mitigate what your environment truly looks like. And of course, I don't live in Alberta, but my brother, he lives in Alberta. His wife is a school teacher, and my dad lives there. Obviously, the school system doesn't impact him. But having those conversations about what it's like and what the scenarios are like and what the conversations are like, and it's a little bit different. And then you can go as far as west as BC, where they just recently announced 3 more tragedies, and you think that environment is going to be functioning at a completely different level, and they're operating at a different level, right? So who knows? I mean, I too, in the event world, have decided to wait for more information to transpire. And obviously April 6th is kind of like a date that you can work with because of the education systems made this decision, but they very much could come back and change things, which would be fine. So
definitely they could. Yeah. And I guess, well, obviously you've been in touch with the venue, but that's the thing, all these cancellations and everything is definitely having an impact for all of these event spaces, as well as anybody in the service industry. The restaurants alone are very much empty.
Yes.
So
yes, and so the information I got from my husband and where he works is a very, very prominent restaurant in the community. He works in Barrie, even though we live in Midland. They're not slow.
They're not.
And what he's finding fascinating is what he's hearing in the space. A lot of, he said he even he chose to have a conversation with a group of his young staff about they're not invincible. And so, and as you were saying about your 17-year-old, right? And
they're all like that. All her friends, they've spoken, and we get it. We'll be fine. We're okay because we're young.
Right. And so he was very clear with them about the impact of people's choices. And he said, if you choose to do that and you bring that to me, then you are putting my family and my mother and my children at risk by just choosing to do that. And he's like, and these are the choices people are making every day. And I mean, we all are doing the absolute best we can with what we have, 20-year-old, 17-year-old, 70-year-olds. And it's an interesting conversation to engage in when, we could be like, you should do this, please do the thing, help everybody. But how we approach those conversations is all really dependent upon the level of our relationship. So, my husband's not going to have a conversation with random 20-year-olds, but these are people that he knows and he has worked with for a long time, and they have a relationship. And that's really how I think all the messaging in order to make these shifts needs to transpire. And, we've known marketing gurus all over the world have known forever that if you want something to have an impact on someone personally, you need to bring in a face, a person, and a story that they feel connected to.
Right,
And
yeah.
and I'm not saying that, you know, we should be digging in and like trying to find specific people so we can talk to them, but really the change that's going to happen on the in our worlds, almost not, I want to say frontline, but in our day-to-day worlds, is based on the conversations we're willing to have with the people that we have relationships with, and do so in a way that honors where everybody is, and knowingly that fear and how it impacts people at an internal level is not for us to decide. So
Right.
I look out in the world and go, however you choose to respond is based on who you are and your experiences and how you see the world. So if you're out there buying all the toilet paper, or if you're deciding to go to a restaurant, or if you're choosing to stay home and not talk to anybody, those are each our own individual responses. But how do we create a more compassionate front? I think it takes, again, it comes back to opportunities like this, where we're in small community, where we can actually be heard and seen and hear and engage and ask questions in what feels like a safe space. So again, I'm super grateful that you're creating this space for everybody, because it's so needed. And I'm grateful as well. I mean, now I'm looking at my feed, and a lot of the other amazing women that I work with, I guess, a lot of them are doing the let's hop on and let's have a call,
yes,
and let's have these conversations, and me included. So, you know, starting on Thursday, I'm going to be hosting a space, a Zoom call for a community chat, so we can like get reconnected to what matters, and sort of keep ourselves moving towards the person we want to be when this is over. I don't want to be, you know, when we get back to life, I don't want to be picking up the pieces of my life. I want to know that I had been doing that all along. And the only way that I can do that is by focusing on what I do want and how I want to show up and my values and what's important to me, and honoring humanity as a whole. That's something that matters to me. And I think that if we are all able to do that, to sort of continue to focus on keeping ourselves moving towards the person we want to be, when this does end, and it will, we can all look out through the eyes of integrity and say, we all did the best we could with what we had, and here we are.
Right.
That's my thought.
Yeah, no, totally true. And I think that message, and the message of us coming together as a global community and for the sake of humanity, and it's, that message is getting out there. I think Thursday, when everything went down, it was, everyone's just didn't know what to do with it. And I think now people have had a few days, and now you see more on the Facebook feed that's, you know, more positive messages, and also showing the other side, like, look what you can do now. You'll have more time to spend with your family. You can go out for walks. You can declutter. I see a lot of people talking about that as well. It gives you the chance to declutter. I know it will give me the chance to make some new creations as well. But also, I've been working on my branding and messaging for the last couple months. So now I can really sit down and, you know, just focus on that. So there's definitely, you know, a positive side to see on things. And as you were saying, there's all kinds of people creating different online Zoom calls. Fem City's gone to online, Happy Healthy Women, Company of Women, I think, as well, and Hub, they're doing a Zoom call as well on Thursday with Jeffrey Eisen, who's a very a known spiritual healer in Toronto. So that'll be good.
Wonderful.
But and that reminds me too, there's something Wednesday night, which I will put the link into this group as long as she's okay. Darlene Gundry Butts, I think her name. I might have pronounced the last name wrong, but she is doing it's a party.
Awesome.
basically a party. It's a
Yeah.
social. It's
Yeah.
a social cocktail party thing that we're doing online on Zoom
Yeah.
Wednesday evening. So I'll post that link in this group as well. But we
Awesome.
need to have some fun and connection and so on. So the other thing is too, March break, right? So as you were saying, everybody anticipated it was going to be March break. You've got the people who were supposed to go away who have canceled their plans. And then you have people like yourself who you knew that you were going to be home with the kids.
Yeah.
But now it's become 3 weeks.
Right.
So, and they're saying that the whole purpose of it is to stay in your home, not to socialize.
Right.
So you're not supposed to be going and running to the mall, which is what, hello there.
Hi, go honey. Okay. Thank you.
Which is what my daughter would have, she would have been going to the mall, and Starbucks would have been the thing. Since her Europe trip was canceled. But so now what?
Right.
No play dates for the kids.
Right.
There's a dog. You guys have a dog. So there's some,
it's half a play date.
Yeah. But it's gonna be difficult, I think, when you get down to 3 weeks.
Absolutely. And, there's a lot of challenges. Before I think we even got home from school on Friday, they'd asked me for 12 different play dates. Oh, can so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And so, the conversation that I've been having with them, and again, my girls are 6 and 8.
Right. So that would also that's difficult to discuss this. Plus, we don't even know this whole world, this whole virus is so new to us, really.
Yep. And so we'd asked my oldest, did you hear anything about the virus at school? And the teachers were not speaking about it. And I'm sure that there was conversation about what to say, not to say, because of course they don't want to be misinforming young people. And I get that. But the young people were all having conversations. And again, the 8-year-olds were talking about who could get it, what would happen to you. People are dying. Like, this is what she told me. And so, I didn't discount what I'm glad they're having conversations, but we did try to say that, there's a lot of unknowns and what it is that we're going to be doing. So my mother is not always well. And so, we've had different conversations about being healthy and washing our hands. And that's sort of been an ongoing thing. And so, without going into massive detail with them to try to explain everything that's happening, we did talk about that we don't want to share any germs, and we don't want anybody to share any germs with us.
Right.
And because germs are not new to them, which is good. And so, but I've had to probably reinforce we're not having anybody come over, probably 2-3 times a day, because it's, can Nanny come over? Well, no. Can we go over there? No. And then we have this conversation. And my oldest, who's quite the feeler, definitely a bit of an empath. She's had a few tears over the whole idea of feeling like she can't see her people, and not just her friends, but her family. And we're very fortunate that they regularly see family members, and so it's So we did shift it to a bit of, I called it the staycation. I don't know if you would have seen that post, but I kind of shifted it and said, this is what we're going to do, and this is the fun we're going to focus on. 2 seconds. Can you close the door, please? Yeah, they're not going to listen to that because they're playing Connect 4 and it's very loud. And at the same time, you're right. After a week, it's going to be, can we now I'm grateful.
It's going to start again.
Yeah. The weather is good, and that's helpful because we still can go outside, right?
Definitely. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah. And that's been really, really good. And as you know, as things start to shift, maybe Daddy will be home next week, and then that changes the dynamics again in a great way. And it alleviates, that lone parental stress, for me. And so it's definitely been challenging. I feel I feel really grateful that my kids have each other. And I know that
Yeah.
there's some of their friends that, you know, there's just the one child, and that puts a lot of extra pressure on the parents potentially to have to entertain more or engage more. So I did, though, I took a lot of the, you know, there's a lot of advice about structure, and, you know, I have some homeschooling mom friends who offered, you know, resources and things like that. And I thought, well, I don't know how much schooling I want to engage in. And that will, you know, like official schooling.
Right.
But a schedule was really helpful. I'm even setting it the standard now, even though this week was supposed to be a fun off week, setting the schedule and a structure in our day so that, you know, we can play it out for 3 weeks. So I did put together you know, this is when you're going to get up, and you're going to play, and these are the options to do for this time, and you're going to go outside. And then what I did for me, because I knew that they are going to need me a lot more than obviously when they're not here. So I created a parallel schedule for myself that matched when they need me. So I know from this time to this time, we're doing breakfast, or we're doing snack, or they're going to need me for this, or they're going to, and I found that really helpful, even just in today, going, oh, you know what, I have an hour to focus on what I want to focus on. But at this time, 2 little people are going to come up and go, can I have a snack? And so I need to be ready for that, because when I'm not, what ends up happening for me and so many of us is we get sort of in this space, like a workspace. And then when it's disrupted, there can be like anger, frustration, and resentment that shows up immediately, kind of like, oh, I'm trying to do something.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
But having my own little, where is it? Here, there's my own little schedule of what I'm going to be doing. And then it's like, oh, I don't feel disrupted because I kind of knew it was coming. And then I can refocus my energy and keep my day flowing, and make sure that I incorporate rest and play and moving my body and my time and that kind of thing, and not get lost in I'm just caring for my children. Oh, like, and it's like a Saturday every day.
Right. Yeah. Especially now, it's very important that you take care of yourself and you get the right amount of sleep.
Right.
Because
And
that's
huge. The sleep and the, you know, what you put in your body. Yeah, what you put in your body. And then I have a couple of friends who both own fitness facilities, and of course they're not open now, and both have shifted to some online work. Yeah, and I'm super grateful for that too. And it to be honest, I'm like, it is actually easier to get down on my own floor. I don't have like a whole bunch of weights or anything.
You don't have the equipment, yes.
No,
yeah.
But for them to be able to have that, again, that's that guidance and that accountability and that support and that community, because again, you know that there's another 10, 15 women, which is why I go to these fitness facilities in the first place. A lot of it I can do at home, but I need to go there so I can be beside Sally and Donna. And,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, whatever we can do to create a semblance of our own personal normal. And so I've been thinking a lot about, like, how do you do that when so much of our everyday is just habit, right? How I go about my working day or my life is a lot of repetition and routine. And it's been extremely disrupted, like a big old wrench thrown in. And so many of us, it's like, for the ones who can't go to work now, who were going to work, and are choosing to be home but want to do something else and are trying to stay connected, you know, how is it that you can stay out of overwhelm and stay out of anxiety when so much new information is coming at you?
All the time.
And so my little piece of advice today was, look at what would you be doing if you're at work today? Like, what does your work day look like? And look at all the routines of your day. So you get up at this time, you get ready, you commute to work. What does that look like? What does that feel like? You get to work. What do you do when you're there? What does your day-to-day roughly look like? And then create a schedule that looks just like that. And then shift it for you're at home now. So no joke, I know how valuable a commute is to a lot of people for a ramping up to the day or de-stress from the rest of the day. Right. And so you could literally crank your tunes. You could get in your car and drive somewhere and then just drive back home. Drink your coffee out of your takeout mug. You're all and plan your day in your head, or do the things that you would normally do, even though you're shifting the environment.
Yeah,
So
right.
whatever you can do that is as similar and gives you a similar either outcome or feeling to what you would normally do during the day, can help you stay on point, and it can help you feel more normal, more like yourself, instead of completely everything is unknown and I don't even know what I'm doing from minute to minute. And I see this experience occur in my clients at 2 other times of the year. You don't even need to have this kind of crisis: the summer and right before Christmas. Because what happens is, in those times, there's so much new being thrown at us while we're trying to maintain a sense of normalcy. So we keep engaging in the stuff we always do, get up and go to work and do the things and do the whatever, but then we're also planning more, talking to more people, going more places, and
Right.
we can get really overwhelmed. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I have a cat trying to come in here. My cat is literally scratching on the door, trying to open the door to come in here.
Does he do that often?
No, never. It's like so weird.
Yeah,
it's
just
not what
the day.
I expected. I thought I closed the door. I thought I'm fine. I didn't think someone's going to be trying to get in here. But anyhow, yes. So definitely, that's the thing, because the more normalcy you can create, the better it is, and that's for sure. Just like the whole, and that comes down to the whole thing on Thursday with all this fear and panic coming, and then just having people were texting me information about, there's another case here, another case here, another case here, that kind of thing. And you can get really sucked up into that. And the problem is that, just like when do you normally get sick? When you're tired and when you're stressed.
Yeah.
And you've been working too hard or something like that. So that's when your immune system is compromised. And the same thing can happen if you let fear take over your body. It actually affects your physiology, and then your immune system is going to be shut. It's going to be compromised, and you're more at risk.
And it's
we don't want that.
No, and the idea of being able to shift how you're seeing things, and not just on your feed, but like what you're choosing to focus your energy on. So whether you're planning your day or planning your activities, or like you said, you could be decluttering, you could be, getting prepared, making new product, you're working on your business, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you choose activities that, again, align with how you want to show up in the world, what's important to you. Like, so if you're super clear on your values, and then fill your day with things that align with your values, you will feel more full and whole, which will allow you to combat stress and fear more easily.
Right.
And again, coming back to how important these communities are and these connection pieces are, you can actually shift the physiology of your stress response by focusing on connection. So fight or flight, and and all the biology that goes along with that, and how chronically that's a problem. But you can shift to what they call the tend and befriend response when you're reaching out and connecting with others, and offering of yourself, and feeling of value in those spaces where you are offering your compassion and your love and your care and your time and your energy and all of those things.
Right.
So again, a great opportunity virtually, how to keep your stress level at bay is to stay connected to the people, again, that align with how you want to show up in the world. Right.
So,
exactly. Like you said, about shifting out of the news feed into these groups.
And that's exactly it. That's what those are the people I want in this group that I've created. I want the same people with the same values, and then just so we can get through this, and everybody will be in a position to just run with it when we get out of this into whatever our new normal is going to be.
Exactly.
So that we're in place to start running our businesses at 110% again, that kind of thing. So that's the plan.
Awesome.
So that's why communities are important, and that, as you say, there's everybody's creating this, and people are offering free services, and so it's great. So I'm glad that you have joined us, and thank you for providing your insight on everything. Like I say, I'm going to talk to different people and get different aspects of things, and also we can figure out how people like that are product based, like myself, can get make use of this time when we don't have events, and that we can sell our products at, and we don't have the opportunity to sell it, and it's all online. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be seeing you in the group, and I'm going to share your information below. Awesome. And if you can, when I do post this, and if you can also put the information for your calls that you're going to be doing.
Absolutely.
In there.
Yeah. I call them the break every busy woman deserves. So I think that's definitely, I think a few people might be able to relate to that. And again, the idea is
a few at least.
We'll be about fun, and it'll be about movement, and it'll be about connection. And so I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
Okay, that's great. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dionne.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.